In this next activity, we're going to take a look at creating some one-dimensional arrays. And basically what an array is a string of actual data. So multiple pieces of data all strung together, okay, in a specific order. So what we're going to do in this activity is just create some arrays. So we're going to actually put those bulk bits of data together, okay, and then call upon these pieces of data in an actual list box. So what this activity here is I've made kind of a restaurant simulation, okay, for a cafe. And what the activity is going to do is it's got three buttons: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they're all three different types of menus. When I click on breakfast, 5 breakfast menu items will appear. When I click on lunch, it will replace those breakfast items and put 5 lunch items here. Okay, and when I click on dinner, it will replace those items once again and put 5 dinner items here as a part of my menu. So essentially the same list box is used to display the breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus, okay? And then from that list box, I can click on an item, okay, and it will be displayed down here at the bottom as my selection, as if I was a user or someone at the actual cafe selecting an item to order. Okay, so let's give this activity a try now. So I'm going to double click in the list box, but really I could double click anywhere. And straight up, I'm going to create my actual one-dimensional arrays first. And I create a separate array for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, and creating an array is similar to creating a variable. So I'll start off with breakfast first. So I'm going to go dim breakfast. Now this is where it changes. Basically, instead of going as, I go equals. Okay, I'm going to go space, and then I'm going to open up these curly brackets. Okay, now within these curly brackets is where I put all my data items that are going to be a part of this array. So they all appear individually between quotation marks. Okay, and part of my breakfast menu will be a bacon and egg roll. Okay, so that's the first item of my array. After the quotation mark, I put a comma, and then I do quotation marks again, and I'll put my next item, and that will be eggs Benedict. After the quotation mark, a comma. Okay, next item will be avocado on multigrain toast. So avocado on multigrain toast, comma. The next item will be granola with fruit and yogurt. I'm getting fancy with my menu items here, aren't I? Okay, and the last item as a part of my breakfast menu will be just known as a kids breakfast. Okay, so they're all the items that will be a part of my breakfast menu. Okay, so dim breakfast, and basically between each quotation marks within these brackets is a separate data item, a part of my array. The next thing I'm going to do is lunch. So once again, dim lunch equals curly brackets, quotation marks, and I'll go through my actual menu here now. So a teriyaki chicken wrap. After the quotation marks, a comma, a BLT club sandwich, comma, quotation mark, a Mediterranean focaccia, chicken Caesar salad, and finally a ham, cheese, and tomato toasty. Always got to include something for the kids. Okay, and finally I'm going to do my dinner menu. So dim dinner equals squiggly brackets, quotation marks. Okay, and we've got spaghetti bolognese. How can we have a dinner menu without spaghetti bolognese? Comma, lamb shanks, Hawaiian pizza, Sorry for those of you who don't like pineapple in your pizza. Lasagna, lasagna, and I fillet steak. Okay, so they're all the items as a part of my menu. Okay, so basically I've created three one-dimensional arrays now. A breakfast array, a lunch array, and dinner array, each of them containing 5 separate data items within them. The final thing I have to dim up here is an actual variable, okay, and that's going to be for the user selection from this menu, which will be displayed in the label. So all I'm going to do is dim food as string. Okay, so it's going to be food. It could be food selection or whatever, but that's essentially the user's choice of what they pick from this menu. Okay, so now I've got to program each of my buttons for the list box. Okay, each of my buttons that will bring up their specific list. So I'm going to go breakfast first, and what I want with breakfast is basically its food selection to come up. So list selection, okay, list food selection. Now, I didn't go through the names of all the items on my menu, but list food selection is the name of my list box, okay, dot items, okay, dot clear. Now, the reason I put this clear one is whatever menu is already appearing in that list box is going to be wiped first, because I want a bare list box, okay, for my menu to go into. So this is if another list is already appearing, such as the dinner menu. When I click on breakfast, I don't want the breakfast menu to be underneath the dinner menu. I want the dinner menu to go away and the breakfast menu to appear. After that, then it's list food selection dot items dot add range, okay, then in brackets, and we write the name of the array. So okay, so with these two lines of code here, I'm going to actually copy them now, Control C, and I'm going to put them into my two other buttons as well. So in my lunch button, I'm going to go Control V, and I only have to change one area, and that's with what array it's calling. Okay, so here it's going to be lunch, and finally for dinner, same thing, just change the array to dinner. Okay, so understand that this first line clears the list box so that it's empty, and the second line inserts the range, the array for, and in this case, dinner. Okay, so it gives it a clean slate to work on. The final thing I've got to do is for the list box itself. So the list box, double clicking again, and we've already got it open. And that's just to say that whatever's clicked in the list box is going to appear in the label down the bottom. So the name of the list box, as we know, is food selection. So food equals lst food selection dot text. Okay, the text that's actually going to be selected, and then the label, and the label is titled lbl food dot text equals, and as we can see there, food. Okay, so this label will highlight whatever is clicked on in our actual menu, okay, program. So let's test it out and see how it works. So we'll go play. Alright, so here's Max's Cafe, and I've got my three buttons. I click on breakfast, and there we go. My bacon and egg roll, eggs Benedict, avocado on multigrain toast, granola with fruit and yogurt, and kids breakfast. Now when I clicked lunch, see how the breakfast menu went away? That was the whole items.clear when I did my coding, my first line of coding with each button. So it clears all the items that are there first, and then it inserted the add range, okay, the lunch menu, teriyaki chicken wrap, BLT club sandwich, Mediterranean focaccia, chicken Caesar salad, and ham cheese tomato toasty. And then finally is my dinner menu. So clears everything in the list box first, then inserts my dinner menu. So spaghetti bolognese, lamb shanks, Hawaiian pizza, lasagna, and I fillet. Now, me as the user, I want to select something from this menu. So let's go back to breakfast, and I might want a bacon and egg roll. I click on it, and my selection has been registered. So basically, it's displayed on screen, and the variable is recorded food as bacon and egg roll. So I hope this activity has introduced you to the power of creating arrays. It allows you to store multiple items, okay, within a specific keyword as the array, and then I can call upon these items and display them in screen objects such as a list box or a combo box, or pretty much most our display types of screen elements here. So an extremely powerful tool, and in future activities we'll look at how we can add to an array as well. So give this activity a try.